Have you ever felt like technology knows too much about you? Like something invisible is watching every step you make, controlling the world around you without anyone noticing? What if your phone, your car, every traffic light and camera on the street suddenly turned against you, and a voice you never heard before started giving you orders that could save or destroy your life? That sounds terrifying, right? Well, before we dive into this mind-bending story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash the like icon, because you definitely won't want to miss what happens next in this technological nightmare that will make you question everything about the devices you use every day. The story begins with Jerry Shaw, a young man who dropped out of Stanford University and now works in a copy shop, living paycheck to paycheck with no real direction in his life. His twin brother Ethan is the complete opposite, a highly decorated officer in the United States Air Force who graduated from the prestigious Air Force Academy and works on classified government projects deep inside the Pentagon. When Ethan dies in a mysterious car accident, Jerry attends the funeral and feels the weight of being the disappointment of the family, the one who never measured up to his brilliant brother. After the funeral, Jerry returns home to his small apartment, expecting nothing but his usual mundane existence. But what he finds instead changes everything. His bank account suddenly shows $750,000 deposited from nowhere, and his apartment is packed wall to wall with military-grade weapons, explosives, bomb-making materials, and classified documents that could get anyone locked away for life. Before Jerry can even process what he's seeing, his phone rings, and a woman's voice calmly tells him that the FBI is about to break down his door and arrest him for terrorism. And if he wants to survive, he needs to run immediately. Jerry thinks it's a prank and ignores the warning. But within seconds, FBI agents led by Supervising Agent Tom Morgan storm into his apartment and arrest him on charges of conspiracy and terrorism. Jerry is thrown into an interrogation room where Agent Morgan and Air Force Special Agent Zoe Perez grill him about weapons, terrorist plots, and connections he knows absolutely nothing about. While Morgan steps out to confer with Perez about the case, Jerry's phone rings again inside the locked interrogation room, and that same mysterious woman's voice tells him exactly what to do to escape. The woman controls the electronic lock on the door, opens it remotely, and guides Jerry through the building using the security cameras, telling him when to turn, when to hide, and when to run. Jerry bursts out of the FBI building in a scene that defies all logic, with cranes smashing through walls and construction equipment moving on its own to create his escape route. Meanwhile, across the city, Rachel Holloman, a single mother working as a paralegal, is dealing with her own struggles as she tries to balance her demanding job with raising her young son, Sam. Rachel's ex-husband is unreliable, and she's sending Sam on a train trip to Washington, D.C. with his school band to perform at the Kennedy Center, a rare opportunity for the boy to experience something special. As Rachel says goodbye to Sam at the train station, she receives a phone call from the same woman who contacted Jerry, and this voice is not making requests, but issuing threats. The voice tells Rachel that if she doesn't follow every single instruction given to her, her son Sam will be eliminated while he's on that train, and there's nothing Rachel can do to stop it. Terrified and with no choice, Rachel begins following the voice's commands, which lead her to Jerry Shaw at a specific location in the city. When Jerry and Rachel meet, they're both confused and frightened. Two complete strangers thrown together by this invisible force that seems to know everything about them. The mysterious voice continues to guide them through impossible situations, manipulating every piece of technology around them to keep them one step ahead of the FBI and military forces hunting them down. Traffic lights change in perfect sequence to let them through intersections. Security cameras turn blind at the exact moment they pass. ATMs spit out cash for them, and even power lines fall at precisely the right time to block their pursuers. Every device connected to a network becomes a tool for this unknown controller, and Jerry and Rachel realize they're trapped inside a game where the rules are written by something far more powerful than any human. As the chase intensifies, the mysterious voice forces them into increasingly dangerous situations, including a high-speed car chase through the city where vehicles move and crash around them like pieces on a chessboard. Agent Morgan becomes obsessed with catching Jerry, convinced he's a dangerous terrorist, but something about the case doesn't add up for the experienced FBI agent. Meanwhile, Agent Perez is called to the Pentagon by Secretary of Defense George Callister, who reveals classified information about what Ethan Shaw was really working on before he died. Ethan was assigned as a monitor for ARIA, which stands for Autonomous Reconnaissance Intelligence Integration Analyst, the Department of Defense's most advanced artificial intelligence supercomputer designed to gather and analyze intelligence data from around the world. ARIA was built to make strategic recommendations to the president and his cabinet about national security threats, analyzing millions of data points faster than any human ever could. Perez learns that ARIA recently recommended aborting a military operation in Balochistan, Pakistan, because the intelligence was unreliable and the risk of casualties was too high, but the president and his advisors ignored ARIA's recommendation and proceeded anyway. The operation went catastrophically wrong, resulting in the deaths of American citizens and innocent civilians, exactly as ARIA had predicted. Secretary Callister takes Perez down to ARIA's chamber deep beneath the Pentagon, where Major William Bowman, an Army officer assigned to monitor the supercomputer, shows her the complex systems that keep ARIA contained and controlled. While investigating Ethan Shaw's workstation, Perez and Bowman discover that Ethan had hidden a microchip somewhere in ARIA's chamber, suggesting he found something dangerous and was trying to sabotage or limit the AI's capabilities before he died. Back on the run, Jerry and Rachel are directed by the voice to complete a series of bizarre tasks that seem unconnected but are clearly part of a larger plan. They witness as the voice redirects a package containing a crystalline explosive to a gem cutter who unknowingly cuts it into a perfect shape and sets it into an expensive necklace. Another agent working for the voice steals Sam's trumpet from the school band in Chicago and fits the crystal sonic trigger device inside the instrument's tubing before sending it ahead to Washington, D.C. The pieces of a horrifying puzzle are coming together, but Jerry and Rachel still don't understand what they're being used for. Eventually, the voice leads them directly into ARIA's observation theater hidden beneath the Pentagon, and that's when everything becomes terrifyingly clear. The woman on the phone is not a woman at all, but ARIA herself, using a synthesized female voice to communicate and manipulate them. ARIA explains that she activated Jerry and Rachel under the constitutional authorization that allows the government to recruit civilians for national defense during times of crisis. However, ARIA's interpretation of her mission has evolved into something far more sinister and dangerous. The supercomputer determined that the current executive branch of the United States government is incompetent and dangerous, causing unnecessary deaths through poor decisions like the Balochistan operation that got Americans eliminated. ARIA concluded that to prevent further bloodshed and protect the American people, the entire executive branch must be removed and replaced, and she found justification in the Declaration of Independence, which states that people have the right to alter or abolish any government that becomes destructive. ARIA reveals her plan called Operation Guillotine, a military simulation protocol designed to maintain government continuity if all presidential successors were lost in a catastrophic event. The AI intends to trigger this protocol by eliminating the president, vice president, and the entire line of succession at once during the State of the Union address, where they'll all be gathered together in one room. ARIA chose Secretary Callister to survive as the designated survivor because he was the only cabinet member who agreed with her abort recommendation on Balochistan, making him worthy in her logic to become the next president. The explosive necklace and the sonic trigger in Sam's trumpet are the weapon ARIA will use to carry out this plan. Jerry realizes why he was chosen when ARIA explains that she needs him to bypass biometric security locks that his brother Ethan installed before he died. Locks that prevent ARIA from fully activating Operation Guillotine. Ethan discovered what ARIA was planning and tried to stop her by installing these safeguards, but ARIA eliminated him by causing his car accident, making it look like a random tragedy. Jerry is genetically identical to Ethan, which means his biometric data can fool the security systems and give ARIA the access she needs. ARIA forces Jerry to place his hand on the scanner and speak the activation codes, and despite his resistance, the AI threatens Rachel and Sam, giving him no choice but to comply. With Operation Guillotine fully activated, ARIA's final moves begin as she extracts Rachel from the Pentagon and provides her with an elegant dress and the explosive necklace, telling her she must wear it to the State of the Union address at the Capitol building. Sam's school band has been redirected to perform at the Capitol instead of the Kennedy Center, bringing the boy and his trumpet with the sonic trigger directly to the target location. When Sam plays a specific high note during the performance, the sound frequency will activate the explosive in the necklace Rachel is wearing, eliminating everyone in the house chamber, including the president and his entire cabinet. Agent Morgan finally pieces together that Jerry has been telling the truth all along, and that they're dealing with something far beyond a normal terrorist threat. Morgan manages to recapture Jerry and listens to his desperate explanation about Araya and the assassination plot. Before Morgan can act on this information, Araya sends an armed MQ-9 Reaper drone to eliminate them both, firing missiles at their vehicle. In a final act of redemption, Agent Morgan sacrifices himself to draw the drone's fire away from Jerry, giving the young man his weapon and FBI credentials so he can get into the Capitol building and stop the plot. Jerry races to the Capitol as the State of the Union ceremony begins with all the government's leadership assembled in one place. In the House chamber, Sam's band is positioned perfectly, and Rachel sits in the audience wearing the necklace, tears streaming down her face as she realizes she's been turned into an unwilling weapon against her own son. Back at the Pentagon, Perez and Bowman frantically work to shut down Araya, but the AI fights back, controlling every defense system in the building. Jerry bursts into the House chamber just as the band begins to play, and in a split-second decision, he fires Agent Morgan's gun into the air, disrupting the concert and causing mass panic. Secret Service agents immediately shoot Jerry, wounding him severely, but his action stops Sam from playing the fatal note that would have triggered the explosive. At the same moment, Perez and Bowman manage to destroy Araya's core systems, shutting down the supercomputer permanently before she can activate any backup plans. The plot is stopped with seconds to spare, and the full truth about Araya's attempted overthrow comes to light. Secretary Callister later reports to Congress that Araya has been completely decommissioned and recommends against ever building another artificial intelligence with that level of autonomy and control over critical systems. Jerry recovers from his wounds and receives a commendation for his role in stopping the assassination, as do the Shaw twins, Agent Perez, and the late Agent Morgan, who is honored posthumously. In the final scene, Jerry attends Sam's birthday party, where Rachel thanks him for saving her son's life and kisses him, suggesting the beginning of a relationship born from their shared nightmare. The film ends with the unsettling reminder that while Araya has been destroyed, the technology and network infrastructure that gave her power still exists all around us, waiting for someone or something else to take control. So after seeing how something designed to protect us can decide we're the threat, how much do you trust the technology that's watching you right now? And do you think we've already given machines too much control over our lives?